So, everybody, hello. Um, it's a cat coming up again because they know I'm live. Um, so yeah, want to start first with an apology to Tiffany H. That doesn't mean that I think that you didn't say anything that was out of line or didn't say or do anything that hurt my feelings, but I don't want to hurt yours. So I apologize for my remark. That was out of line. Hi, Tanger. It was out of line. So, but, I was doing a little research on something that I had talked to, a friend of mine on the phone. And I also did a live stream with Debbie where we talked about the schools in Michigan. And the schools closing down and all that really concerns me. I hope everybody had a great day. But the schools suddenly closing down, not suddenly, it's been gradual, but it concerns me. Could it be, hi paranormal, that because during the quarantine thing that the case of everything being online brought this mindset to the powers that be that schools weren't necessary. But they are. They are necessary. And it concerns me also that as I look back at the numbers of students that were missing from the participation on the online schooling, the numbers were extremely high. Extremely high. And I wonder if that has something to do with if people were homeless or just didn't have the means to be able to participate in, but during all this time, what ends up happening is now rent has increased. And hi, Catherine. I meant to get back to you today. You texted me, right? And I meant to get back to you. I'm sorry. Rent has increased, like doubled. Ranger. You said hi, Ranger. I mean, Tanger. Catherine, Jax, my friends. Tanger. My friend. My friends. You guys are my friends. I just read a really disturbing article that across the nation, there's 420,000 students missing. I know I was on the phone with somebody and we were talking about the enrollments, or maybe it wasn't on the phone. Maybe it was on the live stream with Debbie when we were talking about the schools, that the enrollments were going down in numbers. There's 3,000 less students in San Antonio alone enrolling. 420,000 students across the nation. Hi, Mandy. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying just not enrolling. I'm saying can't locate. Can't locate. I never knew until recently there was a sub minimum wage that if somebody is deemed disabled or like unemployable, even by age, even by age, that there's a sub minimum wage and they're allowed to pay them at least as at least $2 or or 7.25 is the sub minimum. But wow, how did we not know these things? How do we know that sub minimum wage is set out to be, if the law passes to ban it, it's set in 2024. Like these companies, I thought that was like discrimination. I thought that kind of stuff was discrimination. Now the rent is so high that people are home. My theory, I'm not sure. My theories are the darkest. I say because they're like, oh, and will those missing online students, like, why is school still online? Like, why is school still online? Sharon, I just want to say one thing to Sharon too. I think that I've been, for the most part, very supportive of Sharon while a lot of stuff's been going on lately. But I don't understand why you can't be supportive back, Sharon. Why can't you be supportive back to people that are being abused by the same person that you were being abused by? You see, that's so hard then to make it look like, or to not look like, it is what it is. A particular person really created a lot of chaos and detrimental things to. I didn't get your channel demonetized, Sharon. Why would you make two videos, one about NetNet and one about me, but you're gonna lay off Bobbles? Why? That doesn't make sense. I think that it supports the fact that one individual made it difficult for many people when you're on board with that, Sharon. Otherwise, you really are looking just like the person that you claim has done bad things to you. And now you're like not going to harass them, but you're going to harass people who didn't do anything to you. I mean, I know for a fact that I, you know, I think it's kind of, it loses the. It makes no sense to people, like when I'm saying, look at what she did to Sharon, when you're on the flip side making a video implying that I have sex with my dog again. Do you know how much my dog has been companionship during a very difficult time in my life? And for people to be in Lou's room again today saying again about my dog, what is the problem with them? Can they not move on? Is it is it certain people can't just stop themselves? Can, Bobbles try, which she did at a point that I've seen. Can I try? Can people try? And then there's others that just can't stop, won't stop. I mean, if the reason why you got demonetized was just because of pointing something out that was on Social Blade, that's ridiculous because I can think of many other reasons why, many other disgusting things you've done. Same with Bobbles, Lou's chat, same. Mary, same. Anybody with a set of eyes can see that there are good people in this community. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell the difference between repetitive derogatory statements and people who truly care about people. Now, I had received a text message from someone, Michigan number. I don't know if you guys remember when I had done we're going to go back into that student thing, trust. But I just want to address how it really doesn't substantiate what the whole community is saying, unless, Sharon, you want to be part of a movement towards good and a positive future for everyone, hopefully. Um, or if you want to be, because I noticed that the one is saying she's the biggest, baddest bitch on YouTube, and the other one is calling herself the queen of mean. In the meantime, there's problems going on in the world, just in our own country alone, that if we keep focusing on hurting each other, then 420 students nationwide missing from enrollment in school might go missing from the future. And 2 years from now, that story is going to be old news. And who cares? Who knows where they went? The reason what got me looking at the what led me to the students part was because I noticed that the animal shelter, the animal hospital shelter in my town, been there forever. Been there forever. They're the ones that provide the clinics for, people with pets that don't have all that kind of money to have vet services. They closed down. They closed down. And I believe it's South Carolina. Excuse me. South Carolina. They um they also declared like a state of emergency about pets. Their shelters are overcrowding. It made me wonder, why is there a sudden influx of pets while the shelters are closing down? You would think they would have the ability to hire more staff. There'd be a concern. I was perplexed myself the other day about like, wow, now where's the clinic now for people low income? That that place provided a service. I mean, you still paid, you know? Okay, Catherine. Like you still pay for it, but just not, it was like a fee scale. And it was a nice place. It was an adoption set, and it's closed. And the other ones are only open like every other day for half a day. And I just, I'm not understanding this. Where are the people going? I always like go back to that. I never even saw the movie. Soylent Green, where he's like, "Don't eat it. It's people." That's the only thing I know about the movie. Yeah, but now they're being, but now the animal shelters are overflowing. Why? Like, why? That doesn't make sense. People don't like adopt and then just turn them over. I'm sure some people do, but I mean, yeah, and coincidentally, the the place that provided the animal, like a sliding fee scale kind of for vet services, and they've been there for years, years. I mean, like before I was born, they were there, closed down. Why? Why? I mean, I've never seen anything like what I see now. And, sure, like when I watch it on, YouTube and I see these videos about, you know, cities that are closing down, I can't help but wonder if a, a bando is livable in, you know, some areas, then, right. So I'd have to say that all these people who say under the last administration, our economy was doing great. I don't think it was. But I don't think that our economy was going to ever be able to pick up those blank checks from during another administration. Blank checks means blank as in, how much it is, not who it's going to. I mean, giving blank checks, approving blank checks, that's, approving no bid contracts is why you would need a blank check. You know, during the same administration, all these no bid contracts were approved, and then they needed blank checks. Gee, wonder why. Uh, Real conflict of interest here. Uh, Real conflict of interest there. And we've never been able to bounce back from that. Mm-mm. No, nah. That's what you call an inside job of robbing the nation. And as far as I'm concerned, in the recent past, espionage. I mean, look at what were they? The Goldbergs, the Goldblum, the couple. Um, you know, um, right, doubled, Mandy, doubled though. Yeah, remember the Jewish couple that got killed, and they purposely did it on their what Sabbath or something there, uh, during World War II for espionage. I'm sorry, Basically, that's an infiltration with espionage, in my opinion. Allegedly. But I don't see us rebounding now because now we got a real breach of security, it seems, and fear, in my opinion. Fear. My fear is that 420,000, yeah, how is it unemployment at its lowest? Yeah, and when they say unemployment at its lowest, they're just counting people who are collecting unemployment. But if their unemployment runs out and the people are gone and they can't apply for unemployment or there has been no jobs, yeah, struggling to find workers. I mean, I don't really see that struggling to find workers places. I just know that when I went back to work after COVID, we weren't allowed more than 25 people in there, and they all had to sit mile. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but they did. Here's one thing that really was weird to me: the bars were forced to have to serve food. You had to get in this double something sink and whatever put in there, and you had to be forced to serve food. Yeah, what changed, Mandy? Like, how did that particular thing bring on a shortage of toilet paper? There's things like that sub minimum wage that we don't even know about. You know why? Because if uh, if in 4 years that story about 420,000 students nationwide, I just want to know, why are they still doing online schooling? Why? Why did they make bars have to serve food in order to open? What did that have to do with COVID? Oh, not COVID, not COVID. I didn't mean COVID. Whatever that was that went on, uh, whatever it was that they were talking about, that C thing. I don't know what it was. But what did that have to do with opening back up, serving food? Like you had to serve food in order to open back up. You serve food, but you can only serve food to 25 people. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, but if they're only limiting days and hours, right? Right. They're eliminating people. Eliminating. Because once they eliminated the hours, they're not hiring for them. They're not saying, oh, we're starting a night shift. We'll have employees. They're eliminating the employees from those hours. I drive by this Burger King sometimes, right? And I always think it's closed because it's so damn dark. But it's open, but they don't turn their lights on. Isn't that weird? But here's the thing, Tander. Are they hiring full time? Because if they're only hiring part time, then they don't have to provide insurance. But once you're making a certain amount of money, you can't get Medicaid. So then you have to pay for insurance. And with the rent, how it's up, and the food, how it's up, nobody can afford to live. Nobody can afford to live. Only full time. Hmm. If you, yeah, or you go to the emergency room, right, Mandy? I can't find people. I don't think it's that people just don't want to go back to work. I think it's people missing, in my opinion. In my opinion. When I lived in England, Mandy, they used to have house calls. This is scary. Who will help us? Who will help us? What's gonna happen? Even people who own their own houses, they can be taken at any time by eminent domain. All somebody has to say is, yeah, but I want to build something here and that's going to create jobs, and they can be taken by eminent domain. These people who fight against feminists because they say, we're against men. We just want women's rights. Do you know that I think the right for me to be speaking here on this platform is wonderful. I think the knowing that Gee, we all want to be on TV, right? And reach the ears of the world. That's what I'm doing. I'm not getting paid like a celebrity. There's 32 people in here. That's awesome, right? That's where our mind has to go. Our mind has to go away from us fighting each other to fighting together. Because when we ignore things and think only of our own well-being, we're forgetting that little by little we're going to disappear, in my opinion, allegedly. And the only thing that's going to be out there are people who strive to be the biggest, meanest of all. I want to say, I'm not going to say any names, but where are we going? I don't know where we're going. Hello, Jose. Yeah, the country doesn't care about their people. I don't know. What do you mean? Where are we going? I don't know. Soy and green? Danger. I mean, I really don't know. Um, I had a friend reach out to me because I don't think that people realize a full aspect of their actions. Okay. So I'm not gonna say any names or anything. Okay. But cut it out. No swinging around here. What does that mean? No swinging around here. I don't know what that means. Um, no, soylent green, not swinging. um, it was a Charlton Heston movie. The things that go through people's minds when they know that somebody was supportive of what we would deem, I guess, the other side. No, soylent green, soylent. Mhm. The other side, the enemy, right? See, my mind was at, well, no, somebody wouldn't do those things if they weren't really your friend. But other people would maybe say, but maybe they would to gain trust. Maybe they weren't never really your friend at all. Now they want to say things to you to make you second guess yourself, second guess your sanity, second guess your actions, your behavior, and your security of your devices. Because friends don't just disappear, in my opinion. They know something like that would be hurtful unless their initial right or to betray trust. Yeah, the initial thought is, did I do something wrong to them? After a while, you start to wonder, were they doing something wrong to me or us? Because I'm not mentioning any names, but that particular incident is long over. And I'm just saying that the prior last year, the derogatory comments weren't forgotten, they were forgiven. No, no, not you, honey. Not you, Jose. Not you. Absolutely not you, Jose. Absolutely not you, honey. No, 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 not Willow. I won't be saying any names. I won't be saying any names. But I know they didn't like me for a while. And they didn't like me too long, it seems. It appears, in my opinion. Now, I'd rather think those gestures were in kindness, but mm, it was brought to my attention tonight that it's kind of questionable. It was actually brought to my attention the other day when I was doing some commentary and didn't notice how much this person didn't like me prior. Oh no, Paranormal Underworld is Jax. It gets you wondering if you share too much with somebody or, you know, uh, but to spend so much time in an El Loco channel, um, and participate and try to get me to second guess myself over something already gone and past. I've been second guessing myself for the last week now, beating myself up. And the other night, I just thought, wow, this person didn't really like me for a long time. That sucks because I really like them. And it's nobody here. It's nobody here. It's nobody here. Hi, Ambrosia. And it's not you either, honey. Don't worry. I know everybody would be like, wow, but is not, it's not you, it's not, you know, no. I hope you're doing well. I mean, I genuinely believe that there's so much more in the world that we should unite on than there is about each other that should make us divide. I think if we thought about the things that go on in the world that most of us would be disgusted by. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm burping like a jerk, I know. Um, if we united on what we were disgusted by, like, you know, worldwide, nationwide at least, or maybe we wouldn't be disgusted in each other. Why not work on the things that we have in common? Like, as opposed to, you know, striving to be the queen of mean or the biggest bitch or, you know, why not just unite to wipe out the things that we're disgusted in that's going on? I it alarmed me to read the caption, will the 420,000 students that have gone missing online go missing forever? That alarmed me because the article really didn't even answer the question. It just gave some statistics that were really alarming and didn't answer the question. And with a click of a button, right, Jax, well, maybe I wasn't seeing it like that. Maybe today I am. Every day's a new day. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me the chance of another day. God and you. You know, what would be great is instead of if there was 37 haters in this room, 38 now, there was 38 people who wondered if 2 years from now, will 420,000 homeless children who didn't, well, homeless, they said 420,000 students didn't enroll. Why are they doing it online schooling again? What happened to grooming social behavior within children? You know, here's the thing. I don't think standing up every morning and saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to one nation, under God. What is it? I'm sure everybody knows the words. I have them right on the tip of my tongue. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right? What's wrong with that? It's nothing about religion. And for the United for which it stands. Right? Some okay. We're all living there. We're all living here. It was something to learn loyalty and allegiance from and respect. It was the first step of teaching a nation respect for its country. Yeah. Well, then they need to change God bless you to Allah bless you or whatever other word they've got. I don't know. Because Allah, doesn't it just mean God in another language? Isn't it all about gods? Even in Egypt, isn't it all about gods? God Almighty. We got to change that word. God dang it. Well, you're all right. You said dang. Right. One nation under one word, meaning we're all united and the greatest of the deities. Back then, they're chopping away in stone and they got to write greatest of the deities. So the guy said, I'm going to abbreviate this GOD. Ever think of that? Could it possibly be that simple? Could it be abbreviated? Oh, he was the god of fire. He was the god of thunder. He was the god of wind. He was the god of the sea. He was the god of love. But the greatest of the deities, let's just say GOD. So it's okay to abbreviate OMG. So OMG is acceptable. But the pledge to have allegiance and give thanks and be there for the soil you're standing on is not. So when does God bless you become offensive? Right. So greatest of the deities, many faces, but all together combined. You're tapping out in rock. That's how you write, right? Ah, man, I can't keep typing on. My hand. GOD. Could they not have rolled them all into one? It's all. God is everywhere. God is it. God is all. All is God. Couldn't it be? Couldn't it? Wouldn't that have been easier? Because if not, then you try to get this. I think they weren't a bunch of Karens before. See, no, 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 you can't say that because I'm pretty sure that the Pledge of Allegiance and the people who actually, at the end of the day, make the decisions probably are either equally made up. Yeah, was it a bunch of Karens who went around and tore down all of the statues like Teddy Roosevelt? Teddy Roosevelt? Are you kidding? Teddy Roosevelt, he was the people's president. He was so much more than a president, you know? Was it a bunch of Karens who did that? Was it? Mm-mm. No. Was it a bunch of Karens who were taking a knee? Was it a bunch of Karens who stormed the Capitol? Was it a bunch of Karens who made the Ku Klux Klan? Are they a bunch of Karens? Good old boys. Boys? Are they a bunch of Karens? Mm-mm-mm. That Karen is just one more way to sneak in hatred. You know how I know that? Because I'm such a hooker whore bartender man that they don't call me Karen on Vern's channel. They call me Darren. But I'm not a Karen. And I'm not too sensitive. But I know right from wrong. And I know that I'm no pussy. See, those pussies who want to come after me are too spineless to go after what really matters in the world, the real causes, the real issues. Those people who want to just keep fighting with each other because that's all they can handle. But they're not willing to die on their feet rather than live on their knees. And you know why they're loony? Because they've been told they're loony. You know? Turns out, though, based on the sub minimal wage, them on, their prescriptions that, created millions for the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors and everybody else, um, then they can be disabled. Maybe, maybe not, right? Uh, After they've made millions and been overprescribed and everything, being deemed disabled, you can get your cheesy, but if, whatever, a cheesy, not able to even equal up to what you've paid throughout your life based on, everything. Turns out there's some sub-minimal or sub-minimum wage that's been a law since 1938. Prior to 1938, I'd be really interested in knowing what were they doing with the disabled then. I'm going to guess probably throwing them in those loony bins and doing experiments on them, in my opinion. I'm not sure. I mean, to me, it seems that people lost their usefulness to other people. You could say beautiful things to somebody and encourage them or share their channel out feverishly or defend them or whatever. But if hurting you brings them views that they're not even getting paid for anymore, then I guess they just want to hurt you, right? Sharon's not even getting monetized on the videos about me and Annette, okay? Yet, she still does them. What does that say? Because if that was really her who texted me when I was pointing out the text messages that were being sent to her that she was sending to someone she trusted when she was in rehab, then she texted me and told me it was Tom Reed that she was sending those text messages to. If that was her, if she's listening, I'd like for her to, let me know if that was her or not. They said it was. I tried to call it back. There was no answer. But if the, yes, but sometimes there are others to blame. Sometimes there are others to blame. Like stress mess, sometimes there are guilty people. Not everybody's innocent. Once we take on that, like that person who was saying to me last night, yeah, well, you're not innocent in all this. What am I guilty of? Protecting myself? Trying to point out the truth? When somebody comes up and tries to ruin your day, people say, hell no, right? Now, Sharon, when somebody says, hey, we think maybe she's got a heart, but yet you're not getting paid for it, and you're still making videos about me and Annette, then I just have to say, wow, that sucks. That sucks that you just like hurting people's feelings. Me and Annette, I guess. That sucks. Mary, I'm not saying that to get paid for it, but I'm just saying at least before, I mean, Mary, and Lou, we know that they just like to hurt people's feelings. Um, that sucks. Like you didn't even know about the social blade stuff until I had mentioned it on this channel that anybody could go to social blade and see these things. Because I always think that we're just one voice away from maybe making a difference. Maybe, maybe throughout civilizations, we've advanced to this point before. You remember how, like, okay, you remember the movie The Terminator? And in the second one, like they sent him there because they needed to get rid of her because she was going to give birth to somebody who was going to make the future not be like it looks in these horrific movies. Basically where we're heading. Um and they needed to get rid of her, you know? Maybe we're just one, maybe like way back when that's not true because hurt people should know how it feels to be hurt. Maybe the person was saying, hurt people, hurt people. Come on, hurt people, hurt people. They wanted you to hurt people. That's when it becomes a repetitive cycle. Hurt people. Come on, hurt people. What do you mean the second one, T-1000, was after her son, not her? What's T1? Oh, Terminator. Right, right, right. But in the first one, they had to kill Sarah Connor, right? And then at the end, it ended with her being pregnant. Remember? Driving away in the Jeep. Yeah, but and they knew there was like a story to it. Like it had already been written, I guess, the story. That's why he came to kill Sarah Connor in the first place. And then at the end, she's driving away pregnant. So it was always about John Connor was, you know, supposed to save the world from what was happening. I mean, but think about it. If they start doing away with the written word and they start doing away with books and libraries and schools, then with one click of a finger, history could be wiped out and everything will fail. Everything will fail And hundreds of years from now, or thousands, will be one of those cities underground. Will they go, wow, they seemed so advanced. How did they figure all this stuff out? Right? I mean, how did they create this sculpture of a snake or that monkey one, that you could see from the air and they're perfect? Probably pretty easy. They probably just drew it and they walk this way, walk that way. And then if you think about it, it is possible that they could have, you know, created like hot air balloons that could fly. I mean, what is it? Fire? Heat? I mean, brains were brains. I mean, how is it possible that Leonardo da Vinci could, draw bird's eye view maps? Right, right, exactly. Paranormal. History could be repeating itself, is what I'm saying. Like, even in a great fire or a great flood or anything, all of this advancement, hypo, wouldn't be here still. Like the computers, all that stuff, in a fire, that would burn up. But hieroglyphics, they'd still be there. Certain things, even partial books, things like that. So we'd look back, we'd look like, oh, they weren't that advanced then. But I've heard that they've found things like, I mean, but even look at, is it Plato? No, who's the one? Oh, the one who, um, right, they phased out the cursive writing, the alphabet around the classrooms a while ago. And we let that happen. We let that happen as parents. We let that happen. We did. We did. We let that happen. When did they ask us if we wanted them to do that? Hi, Stardog. You don't have to sign your signature anymore. You got electronic signatures. Mail-in ballots. Do you know how shocked I was when I went to go vote and they didn't ask for my ID? Not in this election, this past election, the one before it. You know how shocked I was? Didn't ask for my ID. Yeah, because you know why? They wanted artificial intelligence instead of real intelligence. Turns out artificial intelligence is easier to control. It is paranormal. Sure is. I'm still not understanding how OMG is acceptable, but the Pledge of Allegiance is not. There were no good candidates started on. I want to know how one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, liberty and justice. When did that become more offensive than lazy people using OMG? The Spy, yeah, he was great. Um, espionage right there. But let's not talk about that. Oh, I'm sure she can, because you know why paranormal? It's always been okay to scribble a signature, look at doctors. That's how so many of them kind of their pretentiousness enabled people to steal their prescription pads years ago and forge them. They were so pretentious. Or they thought, well, they might have learned in medical school, you can make a little extra income if you scribble your name. And then you can sell your prescription pads. You know that? Hmm. You know how many doctors' kids probably their side job through med school was selling their father's prescription pad, in my opinion, allegedly. Just keep scribbling. You know, they also used to use handwriting analysis to know if somebody forged something. They don't have to anymore. Only if they really want to get you. I can't imagine somebody sitting there on their computer typing a suicide note or how many people have lost all their family. I just can't imagine that family albums are a thing of the past. It's interesting. Now I don't know which one is. Okay, so this one has to go. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. I only have to type initials to sign things online. You know what is like really crazy to me is in Vampire Diaries and Gossip Girl and other shows like that. The weirdest thing to me is back in our day, one of the things that we would watch on our shows and our TV shows was episodes where, like, Richie gets a fake ID, or somebody is drinking and they call their mother to come pick them up, and or other, you know what I mean? Like those series that we used to watch, and it was to teach about teenage drinking and all this stuff. Okay. You watch Gossip Girls and Vampire Diaries and stuff, and there's no parents on it. There's no parents. There's just kids in high school, underage, drinking and having sex. They glamorize. I can't imagine how many people, like teenagers, have gotten pregnant to be on, or audition for pregnant and teen, or 16 and pregnant. Right. But then it becomes reality, Poe. Right? Then it becomes reality. And one of the things that somebody had said to me one time I thought was really smart was, you know how they have the phrase, I'll believe it when I see it? Then suddenly it becomes acceptable because your mind saw it and now it's not so atrocious. Yeah, you're right, Pop. And then what they'll do is then they'll ban something after it's already done the damage. Oh, Johnson's baby powder. Oh, could have caused cancer. There's a civil act, or what is it? Civil action suit, whatever they're called. Could have been causing cancer all this time. Oh, sorry for all the people who've been vaping. Could have caused. Oh, sorry for all the people who've been smoking menthol. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry you used Roundup. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It did have a bad effect. Sorry. Sorry. We made our millions, but sorry. Oh, is your kid a smoker now because they thought it was cool? Sorry. Sorry that we used cool kids to do it. Sorry. You know? I mean, it used to be that antisocial behavior was, oh, he's antisocial. That's bad. But now, why are they starting school back in online? What about all the people who went to college to be a teacher because they loved being around children? They loved the look in their eyes teaching them something, or children. What about that? Yeah, but that doesn't make as much money as the electronics that you need to have online. And we can replace that teacher that has feelings involved and might report abuse or might give special attention to somebody who needs it. And all those extracurricular activities that used to be so positive to join colleges. Yeah, we don't think we need the human experience anymore. Nah, sorry for all those people that we called antisocial. Oh, no, 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 wait. If we hate you, we're still going to call you a lonely old woman that has sex with your dog. But in the meantime, we don't give a fuck that our children are becoming that. Like the abuse of the dog being used in a sex tape didn't concern Sharon when she made that video. The fact that the woman got fined 500 pounds but got to keep the dog. So, what exactly was she fined for? Yeah, absolutely, Mandy. Absolutely. Absolutely. In the meantime, is Flint water still safe? Ah, we don't know about that. Who knows? But you know that more and more. the cell phones give you cancer. You know? Like, you know? Fluoride in the water. You want fluoride in the water? Well, here, how do you like this in the water? Huh? 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 Now you can't drink it at all, huh? How do you feel about that, huh? I watched a documentary about Henry Lee Lucas. And they were bringing cartons of Pall Mall and strawberry shakes to Henry Lee Lucas from all over the country, right? And he was saying, yep, I did that crime. I did that crime. Knowing that as long as he said yes, like once you have 125 years, right? What's it matter? But you're a star, right? Hi, Catherine. Henry Lee Lucas. Not starving. Cartons of Pall Mall. Uh, strawberry shakes galore. Anything he wanted. And they literally said that this one guy who had always wanted to be a Texas Ranger because they used to have commercials on, you know, inspiring people to be Texas Rangers and stuff. This is, you know, back in '85, I think it was. That he saw that what they were doing was they were leading him. They were showing him pictures of the crime scene. They'll say, so, where did you stab her? And he'd go, you know, and this is an example, in the front. Do you think you might have stabbed her in the back too? Yep, I do think I stabbed her in the back too. You know what I mean? Like, they were leading him. And each of these, you know, they were getting these fucking, you know, kudos. Yeah, you solved it. You got it off the table. You solved it. You solved it. You solved it. As it turns out, this one guy just said, you know, this Vic guy, something. He said, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. This is not what I got into the Texas Rangers for. I thought this was you know, like since he'd been a little kid watching that commercial, he always wanted to be one. And so he brought it out into the public's eye. Do you know they killed his dog? And they arrested him. I mean, they harassed him bad. Bad. So bad. It was disgusting. And then they Henry Lee Lucas said, they said, you know, well, if you write this letter, then saying that, you know, you weren't lying or whatever all this time, and we can carry on with what we were doing. And he said, I didn't kill anybody. Like he had killed his mother, and here was the thing too. Here was another thing too, was that there was a woman who wanted to get him out of jail too. that would fall in love with these criminals, and she tried to say she was Becky Powell. Here's the thing, though. Do you know that they would never dig up what he was saying? Oh, I buried her here. They wouldn't dig it up. The guy goes, had the nerve to say, well, we weren't saying we were solving the crimes. We were just giving these, these police departments in these other localities the opportunity to solve, to start looking in the right direction. We weren't trying to solve them. Are you kidding, buddy? Are you kidding? But every time Henry Lee Lucas would say he did it, he'd get a carton of Pall Mall and anything he wanted. Turns out the woman who claimed she was the one with Peggy Powell, she wasn't. But when he had said, this is where I buried Becky Powell, he knew that they didn't even bother to dig there. What was the point of all that? What's the point of all that? All those families that were like, okay, so this is solved, and now watching this guy living high on the hog, man, in prison, right? The woman who pretended to be Becky Powell that was in love with Henry Lee Lucas also would write to Charles Manson. And she said to Charles Manson, what can we do to get you out of here? He said, I don't want to be out of jail. You people are crazy out there. What's that tell you? I watched an interview with Charles Manson where the guy interviewing him talked about sex, and he said, don't you miss the, what is it that you, or whatever, he said that a woman, touch of a woman, like, and brought up sex in prison, and Charles Manson said, what do you think? It's what I'm used to. Since he was a kid, he was in the system. Here's the thing, though. Turned out when the guy who had finally stepped up and said, Henry Lee Lucas, this is like all this is, he only killed a couple of people. Two people, his mother, and he did kill that Becky Powell. Two people. He did about 5 years in prison for that, okay? So whether he had done those things or not, this man felt that being in jail was, and all these, and the guy went to sue the judge and the system that had poisoned his dog and arrested him under false pretenses and everything, this Texas Ranger. And he said, but I couldn't because they were all under qualified immunity. Sharon, you're a reader. implore you, please use the followers that you have and the voice that you have to make the world better. If a bando is livable, and there's a few down there that are livable and stuff like that, ask yourself, where did the people go? All those mansions that just got abandoned, why would they just get abandoned? Why? Why? The people who pay excise tax and the people who still are trying to hold on to their homes, why are the streets so bad? Like the side, why? Where is all of this? Where is the students that were going to those schools? What are the schools like in Inkster? Is that where she lives? What are the schools like? I saw you do an interview one time, Sharon, with a girl. And if they took that video away from you, I'm sorry for that. That was a good video. It was a girl up against a chain link fence. And you also did an interview with a girl when you were in Chicago. Why don't you go out and interview the people and find out, use your investigative reporting skills instead of trying to hurt people? Can you help people, please? Can we all not let history repeat itself? That's all. That's all I'm saying. Can we use this platform to try to make a difference? Instead of fighting each other, let's form an alliance with all of us. It doesn't mean buddy alliance. It means, can we just all find something that concerns us that's happening in this world that you're seeing less of or more of, and you're appalled? Can we bring the human back into the race? Peace, love, and tacos, you guys.